No.
Doc, Patricia Watkins, and Carol.
Okay.
And me. That's it.
That was it?
Yeah, the other two, they don't show up.
Nah, they never show up.
One in particular. One
Never.
doesn't show up to anything.
At all, right?
Right.
Well, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. You cool? You ready?
Whatever you want to ask me. Anything you want to ask me.
All right. Well, I'm sitting here with Miguel Valle, who's a candidate for mayor in the city of Chicago. Currently, he's the city clerk, right? Let me ask about your current job, right? What were some of the things that you do that was so vital to the city that you would think, most people don't know about and might help inform them as why you would make a good mayoral candidate or a good mayor?
Well, the city clerk's office is responsible for maintaining all the records generated by the legislative branch of municipal government, the city council. And so every law that is passed, we record, and then we become the point of access to the public to that information. And so if you go to cityclerk.com, right there in that website, you're able to find any legislation, any ordinance, any law that is approved by the city council for many, many decades. You can go back as many years as you want. You can find executive orders issued by the mayor. You can find all documents related to the legislative process. And so it's very important. Okay. It's very important that in addition to the ordinances, what you find are the journals, in electronic format, of every single city council meeting. And then also through our office, we provide a live webcast of every city council meeting, so that every time there's a city council meeting, once a month, you're able to, through our website, be able to listen to the entire and see the entire council meetings. So it's our office that ensures that there's transparency in government and that people become aware of what the legislative branch of government, the city council, is doing.
People always talk a lot about transparency, but that doesn't necessarily connect with folks. Right. Why is transparency important?
That's a good question. It's important because you want to know what city government does. They may be debating an ordinance dealing with housing, for example, and you might be interested in that because it's going to affect you. Well, you ought to be able to not have to come to the city council meeting to listen to that debate. You can listen to it at home, and if you don't have a computer at home, you can go to a public library and watch it, and you are able to find out what's going on. If you want a copy of a particular law that was passed that affects your small business, for example, then you can go to our website and you can get that information right away. In the old days, you used to have to travel to City Hall, and then you have to wait to get a hold of documents. And so transparency means being able to see things right away, not ask to see things, but being able to see things on demand whenever you want to see things and to see everything. For example, the budget of the city of Chicago, you can see on our website, the whole budget, and you can, at your convenience, sit there and look at each line in the budget. That's transparency. In the old days, no one saw the budget. No one saw this kind of information. And so whenever we use the word transparency, what it means is that having abilities on the part of the public to get the information generated by government, a law that's passed, a budget that's approved, an executive order that's issued by the mayor, or any other kind of information, and then being able to get it immediately, being able to get it quickly.
Let me ask,
you can't get it quickly, then there's no true transparency.
Get it. Because oftentimes we get discouraged when we have to wait for the information. Let me ask you this. In collecting the records of the city council, obviously you have observed a lot of what's going on, there over the last 4 years, and because you're very experienced in Chicago politics beyond, I'm sure you can have some insight into how government works. We have a lot of things that have been put in place that people are unhappy with, namely the parking meters and the selling off of different public spaces in the private, contracts. How would that be different? Well, two-part question. Why did it happen like that? If everybody is upset, how did we just get these things, out there? Now the public is all in the uproar. Right. But where was the uproar beforehand, or did their representatives, kind of whatever? What did you see in that?
Well, it's an excellent question. Excellent question, because the parking meter fiasco, the parking meter mess, is an example of what happens when the city council, which is made up of aldermen elected by the people, do not take the time to analyze, to break down, and to look at a proposal to privatize a city asset. And so what happened was that the mayor's people and the mayor decided that they were going to do this. And in a matter of 2 days, the proposal was made public, and then it was voted on by the city council and finalized. In a matter of 2 days, there weren't public hearings that should take place so that people could get a chance to comment and people can get a chance and the time necessary to analyze something and then be able to talk about how you change the proposal. You know, we could have gotten a much better deal if there had been time to make amendments, to make modifications to the proposal.